Hello, my name is Joe Kao, and if you are a coach or a therapist, or you're interested in learning to become more influential, become more persuasive through your use of language, then there's a course that I'm teaching called Socratic Questioning and Conversational Belief Change, which you might potentially be interested in. Now, I've worked as a psychotherapist, solution-focused therapist, hypnotherapist, for coming up to 2 decades. And this course essentially distills everything that I've learned through experience over the years that really works to help people to make shifts within their own expectations, within their own assumptions, within the generalizations that they're making, so that they can become more open to considering things from a new perspective and to having insights and epiphanies that prior to the conversation would not have occurred to them, or at least would probably not have occurred to them. People often have a fixed mindset when they're stuck within a problem. They feel like they've tried everything. Sometimes they feel like nothing works, like this is just how things are. And it can often be the case that after using the kinds of principles that I'm going to be teaching within this course, even before I do any hypnotherapy with someone, before I ever get them to close their eyes, through conversationally exploring an issue, people can get to the stage where it strikes them that there really isn't a problem anymore. I've had this numerous times with clients that I've worked with where people have said, it really doesn't seem like there's such a problem anymore. And that's just through exploring the assumptions that they'd been making, perhaps the expectations that they'd been putting on themselves, the areas that they thought there was no possibility of change in, suddenly those areas becoming more amenable to adjustments and shifts. So through Socratic questioning, as this is a term that's sometimes used in CBT, but it's not owned by CBT. This goes right back to Socrates himself. Socrates, the philosopher, in some ways the founder of Western thought, the founder of philosophy, in a sense, or what we think of as modern philosophy. Socrates was remarkable for taking apart people's assumptions, for querying why they were assuming this or why they were assuming that, in a way that left people very, very open. It wasn't that Socrates was trying to insist that the person thinks this or insist that the person thinks that. Socratic questioning is very much about opening to a state of not knowing, a state of actually the fixed mindset that I came in with here. Maybe that's just one way of looking at things. Maybe that's something that's not true of the world. It's just true of the assumptions that I've been making. And where did I get those assumptions from? How did I form those assumptions? It's like getting people to take off. We sometimes, there's the phrase, looking through a glass darkly. It's as if we're looking at the world through foggy, oily, misty goggles. And when you take them off and you go, yeah, I see. That's one way of looking at it all. That's one possible interpretation, but it's not reality itself. When we can get people to become more open about the assumptions that they had been making and how there are other possibilities and other interpretations, from that state of openness, it becomes much, much easier to help people to make straightforward, simple, practical changes, whether that's through any therapeutic techniques that you've been trained in, whether it's simply through creating an action plan of next steps with them, but creating that state of openness, creating that state of curiosity and openness in a way that's non-threatening. It's not about fisticuffs. It's not about battling with people's beliefs. It's just about conversationally working with people. And there is no pressure. There's no pressure within this way of working to have to come up with, the complicated sleight of mouth diagram where you're using this technique and this technique. We're not about overcomplicating things. We're about learning, or this course is all about learning to conversationally begin to help people to become more open, help people to let go of their old assumptions. So it's over the course of a conversation with someone, over the course of a session. It's not just about the one question or the one technique. It's about conversationally helping someone to become more open. And that's what we'll be learning within this course. Those are the principles and the methods and the framework that you'll be learning if you want to join this course. And if this sounds interesting to you, if it sounds like something that would be beneficial for you, for your work, for your practice, for your life, then it'd be great to see you there.